Welcome to On the Spot Motorsports Media. I'm your host, Mitchell Gunter, right along with Robert Simpson. And tonight, we have a special guest. And I tell you what, this man is very well known in sportsman racing, especially in super stock and stock eliminator.
hmm
And we have Kevin Helms joining us tonight. So we're going to dive in, ask him some questions. Going to go back a little bit in history, talk about him starting drag racing as a teenager up at Detroit Dragway, and where he's at now and where the future may lie for him. But before we get started, we have a few commercials, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker arms that dominate the track. 100% CNC machined in the USA with aerospace-grade aluminum for unmatched strength and durability. Our rocker arms handle extreme conditions with multiple ratios available to fit your needs. Backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. When performance matters, choose Scorpion Racing Products. Proven, reliable, unstoppable.
With more than 30 years of engine and drivetrain experience, Big Stuff is your one-stop total power management solution. Whether you're controlling a 600 horsepower street car and want the best drivability, or have a 6,000 horsepower race car, need the most bulletproof, reliable control hardware, Big Stuff can do it all. All of our components are designed and manufactured right here in the USA, including our computers, wiring harnesses, touchscreen displays, and more. Nothing is built offshore, and we take pride in being one of the only automotive aftermarket manufacturers that can say this. Learn more at bigstuff3efi.com or connect with us on Facebook and Instagram for more information.
We've experienced how common insurance falls short, slow quotes, excessive exclusions, and a drawn-out claims process.
We actually use a policy that's built specifically around motorsports racing, so drag racing, circle track, and road course. We're covering the race cars, the trailers, the tools and equipment, the pit vehicles, and your motorhomes. And we cover them while they're in storage, in transit, or at the race facility itself.
Larice Motorsports Insurance, coverage built by racers for racers.
Mr. Kevin Helms, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. Talk a little bit about your history and coming up through the ranks in sportsman class and stock eliminator and super stock. And of course, you probably ran a couple of other different classes in between there as well.
Well, thanks. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, I drove a dragster one time. That was enough.
Was it literally one time or one event?
It was a couple of attempted passes. Little Joe Teuton had I think it was an old Lincolnfelter car, and it was really small. And, I needed to kind of, in the middle of the track, needed to turn it back a little bit while I was hitting my knee with the steering wheel, and finally gave up on that escapade. So.
Yeah, you probably look back like that's probably not the best thing I should have done at the time.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because I remember one of the Lingerfelter dragsters, but how tight John even looked in it. John was a big guy.
Exactly.
And, it's amazing. But thank you very much, Kevin, for coming on here tonight. You've been very busy and doing a lot of racing, which is great. But like Mitchell said, you got a wonderful history in stock and super stock racing. And continue going on now, continue racing now. But tell us, how'd you get your start?
Well, I grew up in Pontiac, Michigan, and my whole family both sides, mom and dad's family sides, worked at Pontiac Motors up in Pontiac, Michigan. And my dad and my uncle raced a little bit down at Detroit Dragway and Milan, and once in a while up at Lapeer. And my uncle Jim was actually a track champion down at Detroit Dragway. And so I would go with him and my Aunt Molly, and had a good time, and just, got hooked. And then just when I was 16 years old, I just took my 69 Camaro. That's my first car that we patched together, and I just went down by myself and got hammered by the track champion first round. So I'd like a rematch, please.
Right. So are you saying that kind of set the hook? Is that what you're trying to say?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Okay. So was that your street car? I mean, at the time?
It was my street car. Yeah. Yeah. My brother Scott, who passed away in 2013, he patched it together. I mean, it was a high school 69 Camaro. It wasn't that great, but it was great for the time,
Oh, yeah. I remember Scott. Great man. And I love that 66 that he had, too.
Absolutely.
That was beautiful. But I tell you, so, okay, so was your whole family behind you when you decided to start doing that?
Oh, they were fine with it. Yeah. Kind of a funny story back to the deal. My dad bought a 63 Sport Fury from somebody, I don't remember the guy's name, but he worked at Ram Chargers. So, and it didn't have the right motor. It had a 446 pack in it, but that was his street car that we went and hot rodded around, and he did the $100 on the dash challenge type thing, So it was some good memories.
Yeah, but in that area was, I imagine that area being outside Detroit and all that stuff like that was known for sleepers. Known for, okay, it might have this badge on it, but that's not necessarily what's under the hood.
Right. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that had been a great time to say the least.
Yeah,
now, is that 69? Is that the same one that you currently own?
No. I bought this car when I lived up in Colorado. Bought it in '87, and I bought it in '91. Took a couple years to transfer all the parts from. I had a '66 Biscayne. Started out as a P stock automatic. Mm-hmm. And then went to the 3.25 horse 396 4-speed combination with the help of Jim Hughes, the stick Jim Hughes.
Yeah.
Who is my mentor, no question about it. I mean, he taught me everything to do about stick shifts. So,
multi-time world champion there too.
And I was glad to see he made the top 50 list as well. So that was awesome. Did.
Oh yeah, Go ahead, Mitchell.
So when did you actually race your first national event?
Let's see. That would be, I think it was 94. And I went to Phoenix. And, by myself, like usual. Which I lived in Denver, so it wasn't like it was next door, So that was my first national. And then my first national win was Topeka in 96.
Okay, so that clearly didn't take long, but clearly I take it that you started on the divisional level, obviously to earn grading points before you went in 94. And I honestly didn't realize that I thought you were Oklahoma, Texas. That's honestly from Michigan to there is what I thought. I didn't realize that you were in Colorado. So your work took you to Colorado, I take it.
Yeah. So I went to high school up in Michigan, went to a year of Eastern Michigan University. Went to aircraft school to be a mechanic down in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and that's where I met Mike and Paula Cotton, and they had it wound up being neighbors with them. Me and my roommates got a house instead of an apartment, and wound up being catty corner to Mike and Paula, and so I mean that set the hook even further.
I tell you, you're naming off names right from the get-go, and I'm like going, oh my goodness, I didn't know you're neighbors to the Cottons.
Yeah, I still remember asking Mike, what does ISA mean? I stock automatic. We still laugh about that today.
but probably to hear him explain stock eliminator to you if you weren't familiar with it, be like, oh my goodness. Well, it'd be the same thing you explaining airline mechanics to somebody else unfamiliar.
Exactly. Yeah. So went to school, graduated, first job in Phoenix, and then Continental Airlines basically hired our whole shop down there from Sky Harbor Airport, and we all went to the old Stapleton Airport. They had a huge maintenance facility up there, and so worked for them for about 10 years up there in Denver.
Okay. Yeah, because that totally explains, like, to me, looking at your history, because I always remembered you having a D4 number on your car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, 428, I think it was, or some 427
Yes.
or something was the number. And
It still is.
and the fact that, you won your first divisional title and first divisional meets in Division 5.
Right.
Denver and other.
Yeah.
Of course, the first thing they ask, where's your favorite place to eat? In Plant City. And I'm like going, man, that's the first thing?
I'm going to go with probably Fred's.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little home cooking place and really good.
Okay, well, got to keep that in mind, Mitchell, next time we're down there. But but seriously, but back to the other thing. So what was your home track? Was it Bandemere? Was your home track?
Yeah. I got my first. Matter of fact, Jim Hughes kicked my butt. My first final round with my, at the time, P-Stock automatic 66 Biscayne was against Jim Hughes, my mentor and hero. So
right.
And he slayed me in the final round, and we learned from that mistake.
Well, you see, the thing about it, you remember it to this day, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
You see, and you learn from it. Now, did you put a 4-speed in after the automatic, or was it a 4-speed and then an automatic?
Well, I actually made the best run ever. Trying to get a 283 Power Glide car to run the index on the hills was a little challenging.
Right.
And I actually got under the index like 1500s under, which they were tougher indexes back then.
Mm-hmm.
And was so happy about it. I come back, and by the time I came back, it cooled off enough to crack or blow up a piston, one of the old cast pistons that we had to run.
Yep.
It blew up sitting there. So once again, Jim Hughes had some spare 396 stuff, and he guided me through putting the big block and putting a stick in it.
Wow, and that's a lot of car to put a 4-speed in.
It sure was. It was a challenge.
So that was a learning. Was that your first 4-speed race car?
Yes, absolutely.
So a 396 66 Biscayne with 4-speed stocker, and I'm assuming that it's probably like an H car I-stick or something like that.
Yeah, I think it ran G and H stick, exactly.
Okay, good guess, but it's not exactly the lightest thing.
No, okay. It's got a drive shaft as long as my garage, so.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but I take it a lot of people that run out in D5 there's a lot more that I've noticed, a lot more stick cars per division is in D5 versus others, and I'm assuming it's due to the elevation of most of the tracks out there.
Yeah, you got to make Bandemere fun somehow. So it feels faster pulling gears at least.
You're doing something.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to kind of get off topic a little bit, talk about Bandemere. I think they're working pretty hard. I think they got land already located for the new track and stuff out there. I'm going to try to reach out to the family and see if we can actually get them on and talk about, a new track out there that will replace that, so they can get it on the NHRA circuit once again.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people's going to definitely miss, racing there by Hog Mountain, but because it was a beautiful facility, but it can be quite hot there too.
Absolutely. And then the wind is, you never know what thunderstorm's going to throw what tornado at you, Headwind, tailwind on the same run.
Yeah, I guess it's worse than Vegas when it comes down to that.
Vegas is tricky at times too, yeah.
Unbelievable.
But so you started running national events in '96, correct?
94, was the
94.
first.
So 94. It didn't take you very long for you to be able to win your first U.S. Nationals, and I think that was 98.
90. That was the first time I went,
Yep.
And that was at the time that was like the dream race, because I had got the car very fast, and went out there and ran class against Mike Keener, who
checkmate,
top shelf for sure, and ran really good out there and got tore down. And then the final was on TV against my nemesis at the time, Jeff Heffler.
Ooh.
For a long time there, it was the Heffler and Helms show. So,
Yep. Yeah.
we had a hell of a race in the final. Big weather change as we're in the lanes and all that stuff, and double breakout, and it was on TV. So I mean, it was like the dream race.
Well, and it was so good for you that you turned around the next year and won it again.
Yeah, and that has a story too. I wound up, I had strep throat the whole week of it.
Man.
Really?
And man, I tell you, and it was hot. Oh my gosh, it was hot. I would make whatever run I had to make and go die in the motorhome. And then somebody would wake me up and I'd go do whatever I had to do again. And got all the way to the final and won the final against Jerry Emmons. So,
Oh my goodness! Yeah, boy. Okay, another D4 hitters. That whole family. And for the fact that I didn't realize you had strep throat, though, I did not realize that.
I was a sick unit, and when you can turn on the don't give a switch, that's the best time to go racing. I was so sick, I didn't care if it came on or not, and that's where you need to be.
And I tell you, it works out really well for a lot of people that are not feeling good. I mean, I've actually won a couple of races where I was sick as a dog.
Yeah.
And I think it just takes your mind off of all the stuff around you, and it just makes you focus a whole lot better.
Right, yeah.
So this year when we go to the U.S. Nationals, everybody's going to be sick. So they can focus a whole lot better.
No. Because we'll run across a lot of people on airplanes coming back, and you're like, no, we don't need that.
Well, it's kind of funny. The only U.S. Nationals I've missed was the COVID year. And on two, I was supposed to fly up. This is when I was with DSR with all the showdown cars.
Yeah.
Schumacher. And Tuesday, I woke up. I was supposed to fly out Wednesday morning. And Tuesday, I wake up not feeling good. And I go get tested, and boom, you got it. So I had to cancel. That's the only U.S. Nationals I've missed since '98.
Oof, man, that's okay. I didn't realize that, but that makes sense. A lot of people, we had a lot to deal with during that time. Right. Everybody did. So I'm glad everybody was okay. But now, once again, what? You went from, I'm sorry, Mitchell, I'm going back a little bit because I'm curious on where the 69 came into play. It's currently because you had the 66.
Yeah.
Okay, now what led you to the 69?
Well, I was in the break room at Continental Airlines for lunch or whatever, and I don't know, I just got the urge to, I need a 69 Camaro. It's always been my favorite car, and I looked in the classified, and there was all it said was 69 SS. I think it was $2,500. Like, I got to go look at that, and it was right there in Aurora, which is by the airport.
Okay.
And so I get a hold of the guy, I go look at it, buy it, and then start tearing it apart to make a race car out of it.
Was it in good shape?
It was in good shape. It was a Denver car, so it had no rust at all. So it was, kind of a desert car type deal.
Right.
And but got it repainted, and and then transferred all the stuff that would transfer. And then once again, Jim Hughes, because of the year difference from the 66, you can't run the 215 heads. You got to run the 063 heads.
Gotcha. So
Jim bailed me out on that for the swap, be legal for the 69 car.
Right.
And it ran like E stick. And then I put the 350 horse cam in and ran D stick. Started doing pretty good and won the division in '94. And that's up in Division 5. So.
Okay, and that was one of the beginning of many divisional titles because you won. You got 11. Oh my gracious!
Got 11 as of last year.
Okay, because I think you've won them in Division 5, 4, and 2, if I remember correctly.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like, man, talking about diverse, to say the least. But I take it your intention was it because you had the 4-speed in the 66 that was just, hey, and like you said, your elevation of where you're at, it's like, I'm just going to go with a 4-speed and stick with it?
Yeah. I enjoyed the stick shift and everything. And then, you have so many different classes you can run with the Camaro. it's just a better race car, no question, than the Biscayne,
Oh,
and way more versatile.
oh yeah, no doubt. Now, when you started running the Camaro with the 4-speed in it, uh, did you have a Jericho in it and like the 10.5-inch soft lock, that kind of
That's
setup?
that pretty much is from the get go. Yeah, I think I did back then. Well, I think I started with the Doug Nash.
Oh boy.
Doug Nash 5-speed converted to a 4-speed
Hmm.
with the not the dog face shifting mechanism, which is fine until you don't hit one just right.
Yeah, and it kicks back. It hurts like
and,
crazy.
and you're done. Yeah, and you're
Yeah,
changing tranny or cogs, one or the other.
exactly. Yeah, no, Mitchell, he's right. He's right.
Oh yeah.
I know exactly what he's talking about on the Doug Nash ones. But you answered some of my questions there. So that car, so that's what drew you to it, and you just love 69s, and so
Yeah,
you found one and built it.
found one and built it. Yep.
Oh, that's the way to do it. I mean, because I remember yours had the factory interior in it. I want to say it was white. I want to say it was Fathom Green with, I want to say white interior, but I could be
White
wrong.
interior. Yep.
White
Ivory,
interior.
I think they call it. Yep.
Okay, and because you could see it, Mitchell, from across the staging lanes with the white interior in it, and it just kind of stood out. And the fact that it was a 4-speed, obviously, that I got a little soft spot in my heart for that anyway.
Right.
But so when did you start traveling more? Because I know you said 94 you started the national event. I think you said 96 was your first national event. And in between then you've won divisionals, but leading up to this point. Okay, but when did you start traveling more? Because I'm assuming that you did.
Yeah. So 90. What year was it? Let's see. 94 was when they shut down the maintenance center at Stapleton because they were in bankruptcy, so we couldn't build new hangars, and we had like 6 or 7 heavy maintenance hangars at Stapleton International. Well, you can't build new hangars if you're in bankruptcy like they were. So they just bid everybody out, and so I just took like whatever vacation I had left or whatever, and just went on the road. And that's when I went to Phoenix, and then I went to the Dallas division race. I think I won that. I did win that against Ron Gary in the final.
Mm.
And then I went all the way to Orlando because my mom and sister and brother all live down here in Florida. And so I came all the way down to Orlando in the Gators, and that was my little mini got laid off swing, you know. And I won Orlando and did pretty good at the Gators too. So
I did not know that your job that they were going in bankruptcy during that time.
yeah,
I just didn't notice. Whenever I see people travel a long way, I'd assume they had it planned and took vacay, know, and that's that. So, okay, so from that job in Colorado, okay, where was your next one? Because I mean, I think you still stayed in the aviation business, did you not?
Yeah, I actually went to work for a place called Stewart and Stevenson, which was about 3 miles from Stapleton Airport. And they're a big Detroit diesel and Allison transmission shop. Do a lot of military stuff as well. Well, that would have been, I think, 95, I guess I started. And by the next couple of years, they came out with the Series 60 Detroit diesel for the semi trucks. And that's an electronic fuel injection deal, laptop tuned and stuff like that. So they handed me the laptop and said, here, go learn how to do this. And I wound up running the chassis dyno for them and trying to soup up semi trucks.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That I did not expect.
Yeah.
Mitchell and I were talking of different things, but that one did not expect at all.
Yeah.
And Mitchell?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to step back. I know we kind of got sidetracked. You were talking about working for Don Schumacher back in the day, and you actually helped Leah to a championship.
Yeah. Don hired me, and it was actually in Vegas because I had just screwed up and lost the world championship to Justin Lamb, of all people. You've heard of him, right?
Yeah. We all have.
Wait, who was that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in 17, I finished, I think, number 2 in the world with stock and super stock. And so I was, licking my wounds because I had it in my pocket and didn't finish it. But so I had a meeting set up with Don, and he wanted me to head up the factory showdown team. And well, that's what we were talking about anyway at the time. So anyway, he hired me at the end of 17 and wanted to start right away, and a lot of work and a lot of throwing stuff together and whatnot. And we wound up winning the championship the first year in 2018.
Man, that's
and that was actually her stepping stool to Top Fuel.
Well, she was running Top Fuel.
Yeah, that's right. She was doubling. That's right.
And she was kind of doing it as, I'm not going to say a favor, but it was kind of part of her sponsorship or
her contract,
sponsorship deal with Dodge, and we worked with Dodge pretty closely, and we did good. All we had to do was win the last 3 races in a row to win the championship.
That's all.
It won being Indy.
Oh yeah. Well, as long as there's a move available, you're going to take it, right?
That's right. That's right.
Now, how was it when you were introduced to that platform? Okay, with Dodge. I mean, with your experience, okay, coming from stock and super stock at that time, okay, when you were introduced to that car for the first time and you laid eyes on it yourself, okay, what did you think about it? And I mean, obviously the outside of it's beautiful and all this kind of stuff, but when you looked at the suspension and the layout and stuff, what did you think?
Well, we had actually had that very car, and later Leah and Terry Snyder and myself, we named it El Bandito.
Yeah, I saw that name.
But we had it in our shop at Southland Dodge, and they were waiting for me to go test it for them. Well, I got in the championship hunt, and I mean, I had races every weekend for 3 months, and so they wanted to know when we could test it. And I'm like, like maybe June or something.
Right.
So they weren't real happy with that, so we changed directions. But I actually had that car in my shop at one time, or a Southland Dodge shop.
Right.
And so I was very familiar with it. And then of course, you just apply your stock and super stock stuff you learned over the years and try to make something out of it. And we did okay.
I'd say you did.
Now, how much did those cars, what was the minimum weight on those cars, if you can recall?
I think back then we were a little heavier, not much. Right now, today's form, we're 35-25 across the board, Chevy, Dodge, and Ford. I think we were 35-75 with a smaller blower back then, the 2.9 Whipple.
Mm-hmm.
And so heavy on a small tire.
Yes.
Man, well, and they've been refined and will continue to be refined to where it is now and in the future. I mean, it has some of the closest competition. I really, really enjoy watching the shootout cars because that is some really good racing.
Yeah.
And I just really wish that a stick could be competitive with that particular setup, which I don't know if it ever could be with the way the rules are.
Yeah, and then the small tire. I mean, that's
right. Exactly.
I tried to stick in Teuton's red Challenger, and that I thought I was pretty good at that stuff, and it humbled me.
well, hey, you did win the A-stick shootout at Indy.
I did that one time. I finally beat him McFarlane along the way. So.
That's something because McFarlane's won a ton of those.
Yeah.
And there is a really good photo of you with that. Well, I don't think you had the stick in it right then, but it might have been when you had the automatic in it. But you got it on the bumper. And I want to say it's up there in Valdosta. I can't remember the exact one. You got like one wheel off the ground. It's pretty impressive.
I remember it dearly. So John Morris, who was he was the fixer at Southland Dodge. Loved John. He's passed away since then. But him and I, we had a dead hole and we couldn't find it. And well, then we found it.
Came alive, did it?
It came alive a little bit, yeah. I remember thinking that as it's about, I should probably lift about now, right? Well, it's got wheelie bars. We're good.
And by the time you're like going, no, it don't, no, it don't, no, it don't.
Yeah. Well, until it makes that bad move, either left or right, you're okay until then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I've never experienced a moonshot like what you and others have experienced, but I can only imagine. But you've I say transferred. You progressed from your Camaro up to the Challenger, but In the meantime, you started running super stock and you running a Calais super stock modified. Okay, now that wasn't one of Taylor's old cars, was it?
No, it was actually so my brother and I bought it from Scott Cascio, who runs comp down in Division 4, always has real nice stuff. And he was getting into the better and nicer Cavaliers and that type of thing. So we bought it, but it was originally built for DeFranks. And Rick Howard that car in super stock B mod, back in the late 90s. And so that's the car we had. And matter of fact, I just sold it a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Is it going to stay in this division, or is it moving out of this division?
It's in Division 4, and it may run A or B mod once in a while, but I think it's mainly going to be a bracket car.
Oh man.
Yeah.
A lot of people are buying quality stock and super stockers to go run brackets and some fast brackets. So
yeah,
that's. Are you going to build another super stocker?
Well, I've got from Southland Dodge. We made a deal. I've got the purple car that Alan Johnson ran in Factory Showdown, and I will probably run it in super stock at some point. Right now, I'm working with Doug and Ann Duell, and helping him with the. He's running Factory Showdown this year, and having a blast. And we're hooked up, and we're getting power from Stanfields with Greg and Aaron. So those guys are a lot of fun to work with. And but Doug always brings the super stocker with him. So I've been driving either the old Jeggy car or the Cool Fish. Like I won a couple of nationals last year, the '68 Cuda.
Right.
So right now I'm locked in with Doug to drive one of his cars when we run the showdown races, and when we don't, then I'll drag my stuff out or around the country or whatever.
Well, I think the showdown races are absolutely wonderful. That whole class of car, because I think a lot of people relate to it. A lot of people has a Charger, a Challenger, or a Mustang that are sitting up in the stands, and I think
Charger now too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was the crash test dummy for all the testing on the brand new 26 Charger drag pack.
Oh, really?
I did all the driving on it.
So Pollock's car, Mark's car, you did the driving for it?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I did not realize that, because that right there, I know when they get a couple things ironed out, I think it's going to be an absolute rocket.
It will be fast. Yep.
I mean, be very, very fast. So that's interesting there, and also, working with the Duels, I've never had a chance to meet him, but I've seen his cars and equipment and stuff like that is absolutely beautiful and quick. And I think the '68 was originally built as a Hemi car. I don't know about a shootout car, but a Hemi car.
Correct.
From up north, and he bought it and put the newer generation or later generation Hemi in it.
Correct.
So it's absolutely beautiful car. So
it is.
You were telling us off the air before came on that the Camaro, which once again is near and dear to my heart, just because that's where I was really starting to follow you in your career, that it hasn't seen the track in a while, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, the last lap I made down a drag strip with my '69 Camaro, I won the Sports Nationals at Belle Rose, and that was 2011. That long ago. Now I keep it. I mean, I start it, I refog it, whatever. I mean, you could go make a lap in it. Well, not anymore, because now it's going to it's at the body shop to get restored. So.
Okay, now when you say restored, do you mean as a race car?
As a race. Yeah.
Okay, and are you intending on running as stock or something else?
It'll run probably A or B stock. Yeah.
Okay, good. I want to be nosy. It's like going, tell it who's building the engine, who's doing this, who's doing the chassis work, and I'm like, no.
With someone on here watching that's not very familiar with those classes, can you tell them about what usually the ET is in the mile per hour?
Yeah. So if you're running A stick, a lot of years ago, Bobby DeArmond was the first one to go in the 9s. And now there's quite a few guys going, like 970s, 980s with them. And so, it's usually nowadays like 130 3 miles an hour or something like that. And, hopefully 990s, somewhere in that area.
Now, what combination you planning on running, the 396 or the 427?
Well, I've still got 2 aluminum head 396s that I've had all these years. Obviously, they're well outdated at this point, so we'll need to do some work to get them back up to speed. But that's what I'll start with it.
Okay. Well, I hopefully was your car originally Fathom Green from the factory?
That's it's code 57. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I don't know what color you're going to paint it, but I just envision if you do that, it's going to look like a model car.
It's going back to green. Yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Well, you've seen James's comment right here, right?
Yes.
And James is a hitter from up north. I mean, he really is. That Nova is beautiful and it is quick.
Oh yeah.
And James is a really good driver on top of that too. He's come down here. He comes down here and races the Gators and baby Gators and stuff like that. So I get a chance to see that car.
Yeah.
But
I want to talk a little.
Go ahead, Mitch.
A little bit about your accolades. What was it? What did it mean for you to be inducted into Michigan's Hall of Fame in 2013?
Oh, that was incredible. I mean, just a punk kid growing up in White Lake, Michigan. Now it's White Lake. At the time, it was called Milford. I don't know why. Milford was about 15 miles away, but right in between Waterford and Milford's where I grew up, and just unbelievable that you got recognized for that, and that was very nice.
Yeah.
Well, what better place to do it in Michigan? Detroit. It's not too far away. And, that's where all these brands come from, Ford, Chevy, Dodge back then, right in the heartbeat of the muscle car era, all came out of Detroit. I think it was probably pretty special because of that reason as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the fact, the whole family worked at Pontiac Motors right there. And then when I would go up to FCA or Dodge or Chrysler or Stellantis or whatever flavor they are now, the hotel we stayed at was, you could look out the window and see the Pontiac Silverdome. Well, back in high school, I actually got to play football in the Pontiac Silverdome. They would invite the local high school teams to kick off the season.
Right.
And it was neat to see, but it wasn't very neat to see when it was so dilapidated after all these years. And they finally took it down, but it's right there next to it.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised that you weren't raised a Pontiac person, being that your family, worked for Pontiac and all that. I'm like,
yeah, I got the number 428, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I didn't think about it like that. It's a good point.
Yeah, and I just keep it to kind of, I'm joking completely here, but just to, piss off the Pontiac guys and the Ford guys, like Jim Waldo and I are good friends. He always wanted me to give him that number.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But hey, he's retired from that, so it's like going, that doesn't matter anymore. But you're right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now tell us how in between the Camaro and the shootout cars, you went to work at Southland Dodge with the Teutons.
Yes, sir.
The Teutons. Anybody that follows stock and super stock, they have a phenomenal history. Wonderful people, but phenomenal history of racing and Hemi cars and you name it. They've just done so much and still do. But how in the world did you end up going to work with the Teutons?
Well, I actually, and I remember the day, and it was when diesel got up to like $1.61 a gallon. I decided I got to get off the road because at the time, I was doing it for a living and doing okay, But then your biggest expense basically doubled overnight, which we wish it was back to $1.60.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I said, man, I got to get a day job again. Pat Jeffrion from No Problem Raceway had an article, I think on Class Racer or something, and looking for a track manager. So Pat and I have been friends a long time. So I gave him a call, and we struck a deal at the Division 4 banquet. And I went to work for Pat and worked down there for 6 or 9 months or whatever it was. And then Big Joe Teuton, I was doing a test session at the track, and he pulled up on the golf cart and said, if this doesn't work out, I want you to come run my dyno and race my cars and help me at the speed shop. Okay. So we talked, and so I actually got hired by Big Joe first and Little Joe 2 times.
Right.
And then did that for several years. Got to race with Tim Abear, who's passed away now, and had a great time with him and his team. And then Jeff Touton, is Big Joe's brother, who actually owned Southland Dodge at the time. He was getting involved with the drag packs and the new cars, and that's why I parked the Camaro in after 2011, was to commit to Jeff to go to work with the fuel injected and new car stuff. So that obviously worked out pretty good.
I would say so, because during that time you earned your fourth world championship in stock eliminator, and you won, I don't know how many events you won while working for the Teutons. I honestly don't know how many, but with great success. And what's interesting is I still am amazed at the fact that you had a 4-speed in that Challenger and an automatic at times. Is it just because you wanted to try it, or was there like a horsepower factor difference and you wanted to see what it would do?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both, probably. It looks good on paper when you might be able to be 30 horsepower down with the stick car, and a lot of people jump on. But man, when I tell you that thing was a challenge, it was a challenge. And we finally got it pretty fast and whatnot. But it was, I kind of threw away everything that I learned with the Camaro.
Well, yeah, I can imagine so. The suspension being different, and
it was that car right there, right?
That's it right there. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and then that's the car. I won the Gator Nationals with that. I think I won the division a few times with it. There's when we found the dead hole.
Yep, exactly. That is exactly when you found it.
Yeah, and then I won Super Sock. Oh, that was last year. That's another story we need to get to.
Oh, yeah, that'll be next.
Yeah. Won Super Stock at Indy, which would be my third Indy, with the big car, which is really a stocker. And I was foot braking it in Super Stock and won Indy that way. So
that was in 2017, correct?
That was 17, yes. Yep.
I didn't know you were foot braking it, though.
Yep. Yeah, we tried the 2-step, and man, I was there's a story there. It's funny. We were I got beat at Bowling Green the weekend before Indy, and I mean I'm sitting there thinking maybe I'm too old for this. I'm 80 to red. I mean just 50, 30, good, bad, all over the place. And I was trying to 2-step the Challenger. So the first cue at Indy, I said I got to try something different. I'm just going to foot brake it. I brought it up to 3,000 RPM. Bumped it in, swap feet, and I was like 008. All right, well, fluke.
Right.
Do the same thing, go in the other lane. I'm like 10. I'm like, oh, we might be onto something here. Mm-hmm. And so I never 2-stepped it again.
Yeah. You pulled the chip out, threw it across. It's like, don't even talk to me about this.
That's right.
So it's like Jody Lang with his wagon, just 2-step in person, no matter what. I mean, foot braking.
Yeah.
On
Hooter
that,
Hidalgo is probably the best one out there now, foot braking.
Who's that?
Hooter Hidalgo.
Oh gosh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh. He foots brake both in stock and super stock, and he's a machine.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. But on the West Coast, I would put Lang and Justin Lamb.
Absolutely.
The two off the top of the brand. I know there's others, no disrespect intended for others.
Yeah.
But it's just Jody running L stock down here and Justin running A up here. And they're both absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
All the time. So
I want to say he won last weekend.
Yep, he did.
Yeah.
He did. He won the Sports Nationals, was it, out on the West Coast, out west?
I think they or
was it Seattle or something?
I think they split Sonoma. I think Justin won and Jody won the other one, and then I was watching Seattle, and I don't think either one had a great outing at Seattle.
Right. Okay, that's the one then, because Jody just recently won, just like you said.
Yeah.
So that's another person I would like to. I've never seen him in person. I'd like to meet him. Just because like I said, phenomenal. But going on, so like you just kind of sprinkled in there just a little bit, and it's like in case anybody's listening here, ladies and gentlemen, we got Mr. Kevin Helms on tonight, 4-time NHRA Stock Eliminator World Champion, won Indy back-to-back, 2 years in a row with the stick car, but he won Indy, I believe, a total of 4 times, correct?
Three times.
Excuse me, 3 times. Twice in the Camaro back-to-back with a 4-speed, and the last one was in the Challenger with an automatic in super stock, I believe you said in that one.
Yep.
Okay, you've been named by NHRA to the top 50 of all-time greatest sportsman racers, which nobody would deny. You're in there with a phenomenal list of racers, both retired and not retired. I mean, everything from the Taylors to Warren to Lamb to Seipel, you name it, it's a huge list.
Yep.
And rightfully, you're there. Now, I do not know exactly, I don't know exactly how many divisional titles you've won. Okay, because I think you said 11, if I heard you correctly at the beginning, correct?
11 division championships.
Right.
What I've for NHRA. I think I got a few on back when we were running IHRA too. And I think I know I got 30 national wins for NHRA. And I think they were saying in that article something about 55 wins. So
right.
I must have 25 division wins or something.
Right, because I was wondering, I was like 55, that's a big number. I wouldn't doubt it, but I was like, that's a very big number.
Yeah.
55 national wins, making you one of the winningest sportsman drivers out there.
But winning both possibly, like you said, the national and divisional together, that is a possibility. Now, what if somebody wanted to build a stock eliminator car or a super stock, come into this sport?
Come on, Robert, don't put that back in my head again.
No, I've been trying to talk Mitchell in. Mitchell wants. He's got a challenge.
We're here to help.
Right. he's got a 4-door Charger, and 2014 and stuff like that. It's not in the book, but if it was,
we can get it in there.
Yeah, you need to talk to somebody about doing some little horsepower working on. Okay, because it's definitely in the wrong class. But that being said, if anybody's listening out there, like going, hey, I'm interested in getting in stock or super stock or something like that, and we've always recommended people go to the races, go to the track, talk to people like yourself, and get advice. But what would you recommend to somebody, like starting a lower classification, starting a higher classification? You like being the quicker car? Today, do you like being the automatic versus a stick? Kind of, I can't say pluses and minuses, just what would you recommend?
Yeah, well, like you said, it's pros and cons, and each one has an advantage and each one has a drawback. But I would say, as a guy who started with a P-stock automatic Biscayne, if you got to buy 8 pistons, it's the same amount to buy them for a big block.
Okay. Okay.
I would start, if you want to eventually run faster, just start now.
Okay, start with the. I like how you did. That was subtle.
Wherever you think you want to wind up, just start that, and maybe it takes a little longer or something, but you'll save a ton of money.
Okay, that's sound advice. That is, I see exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I've told Mitchell, I said, hey, even if he and I wanted to go in on one, we could find a lower classification where there's no maintenance. You know what I mean? Where it could be competitive but no maintenance, but obviously the obvious challenges that go along with it, the dialing and stuff like that, and you're always being chased, obviously.
Yep.
So
but you get a clean tree.
You always will get a clean tree. Yeah, and no matter what, you're always going to get the move. You're always going to be the one to get the move at the beginning.
That's right. You'll always leave first.
You always leave first. And yeah, now tell us something. I've always been curious because I've seen on your entry that you now live in Florida.
Yep.
And before I saw different Texas and different things like that. When did you move down to Florida?
We moved down here in matter of fact, I had just bought the house down here in Plant City, and that's where Mom and my sister and brother still live. And then that's when John Schumacher came calling. I'm like, nah, I'm too committed now. 6 months ago, I could have moved to Indy. He said, that's fine. Just, you can fly in as you need to. And, just as long as everything gets done. So that's how that kind of worked out.
So
I tell you what, I miss Don.
I do too.
He was a wonderful person, and just down to earth. I took my son to the Gator Nationals. He goes every year.
Yeah.
But that one particular day, I want to say Tony Schumacher won. I can't remember what year that was. And Don was down at the bottom. And I said, "Hey, Don," I says, "Do you mind if I take a picture with y'all too?" No problem. And when he got down, I noticed his hands. His hands just had dirt and grime and oil on them.
Yeah.
I mean, the man worked. He was not just there as a fixture, standing there. The man worked on the cars.
Absolutely. He was, on top of that, probably Don was the most competitive person I've ever met in my life.
Really?
And I mean that as a compliment. So he had the drive, and, like he told me when we were struggling or whatever, I hired the best people I could find for the job, and I expect results. You got it. I mean,
put it out there. Yeah.
We may not do as good as you want us to, but we're going to give it our all. So,
right. No.
Yeah, he was challenging to work for. I'll tell you that, though. But I sure miss him.
That makes sense. I mean, you don't build a successful business company like he did, and then it's successful after his first racing career, coming back in his second racing career with his son and teams and all that stuff, and not have a drive and a very hard work ethic, like you said. Now, Jim also mentioned something to me. He says, speaking of hard working, and Kevin, that he's like, you were always working on it as far as maintenance. You're always doing what you need to do. And he says, more times than not, you got chosen for teardown.
Randomly, of course.
Randomly, yeah, pulled out of a hat, 3 races in a row kind of thing.
They had your name in there 20 times.
That's right. Yeah, it was random, but it was in there a lot.
Right.
It
got the same markings on the cylinder head bolts and intake bolts from last week.
Yeah.
And you got to pull it apart again. Now, they told me of this particular situation, and it wasn't a protest, but you were tore down. But the timing, I guess, couldn't have been better.
Well, yeah, and it was actually the Red Challenger. I had, I don't know if it was the A6 shootout or if I had the 426 in it, but it blew up at the finish line. And so I get towed back, and Bruce Boxelder, the tech guy, a good friend of mine now, he did the lick and stick like that. And that's when you go to tear down an Indy, the lick and stick, he puts a weight sticker on your front windshield.
Gotcha.
And I said, now, I just blew up, right? He goes, yeah, but I want to look at that motor. I'm like, all right, so I'll make a deal with you. I'll agree to, and Danny Gracia came up and said, no, you got enough on your plate. Don't worry about it. We're not going to tear you down. I said, no, I need your concrete, because we were over in the grass like everybody else. And I said, I need your concrete, so I'll pull the motor. We'll tear it down. That's what Bruce wants to look at. But I need your concrete to put the new one in. And that's what we did, and it passed, and, the rest was history, and I probably got beat the next round, but we got it fixed.
I mean, the fact that you tore it down, because you hear stories today, you know what I mean? And I heard a story last week, and I'm not going to mention names or anything like that, where, people, let's just say, highly disagree or don't want to tear stuff down. Now, my father raced in a time earlier where people were tore down all the time.
Yep.
I mean, especially if you made it later rounds in the previous race and they haven't seen you in a long time or haven't seen you, period, that you were making a trip to the barn.
Sure.
And even if you're at the bottom of the qualifying list, it does not matter.
Yeah.
And so I take it that you experienced that a lot during your racing career, just luck of the draw, shall we say.
Yeah, and a lot of it could have been points situations. You're up in the points. They want to make sure you're okay and everything if you're out there doing good, and I get it. And, as a younger man, I loved it. As an older man now, not so much.
Yeah,
Well,
you're
it's
like,
kind of like a badge of honor in a way that
It is, yeah. And back in the day, setting a record was a huge honor as well. Still is, but so many people don't do it now because they don't want to go through the headache of tearing one down in the dirt or whatever.
right. And that's something Mitchell and I have spoken of. It'd be really good if NHRA as a whole, divisions or whatever, would give incentives for performance back in stock and super stock and even competition.
I agree.
Eliminator. And I've always said give them a round points. Give them round points for a record set. You can only do it twice in a year. Mm-hmm. So let's face it, if you're one round behind, okay, if you're one round behind going into the last race, if you can set the record, and then settle it during eliminations, at least you can possibly be tied. The only caveat I say is whatever car you set the record, you have to run that event.
Right.
You can't just come in, set the record, and then bug out and, car's broke and trade over, which I know they don't exactly have that rule, but you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
I personally would love that because there's so many cars out there, so many people that have very quick cars, so you could set records and then you can have that competition and stuff. And I believe more cars are legal than not.
Yes, I agree.
And but I know there's a lot of questionable things out there, which I think we would all agree to.
Hey, but if it's not in the rule book.
Oh no,
right.
I agree, but you have to
I got a fun story on that, just what you're talking about. So IHRA used to do that. Mm-hmm. Well, I was kind of a crossover from NHRA, and I lost the world championship in Superstock to Scotty Stillings one year because he was smarter than me, and he went and set the record in A mod and B mod somewhere and got the 5 extra points.
Oh.
And I had no idea they were doing that, and I lost it by like 3 points or something like that.
Oh, geez. Okay, so I'm sorry I opened up a wound there. I didn't realize that.
Long time ago.
It is. Now something I absolutely love seeing many racers used to do this in past, and some still do it, is I remember whenever, I want to say your first top 10, I want to say it was either you were 7 in the world or 3 in the world. I don't remember exactly which one.
Yeah.
Okay, but you used to put it on your helmet for the following year.
Yeah.
And then the next year, if it changed, maybe your 2 years when you redid the helmet, you know what I mean, you would change it and put the next digit. And there's a photo somewhere, Mitchell, I might have sent it to you, where you had like a 3 or 7 on the window, but you had a 1 on the window. Or excuse me, you had a 3 or 7 on the helmet, and you had a 1 on the window. And and I got such a kick out of that. And I'm sure if anybody was not knowing, they would look at it, I was like, well, what is that about? Like going, well, I always looked at that as a badge of honor because I remember racers doing that.
I probably couldn't afford the decals at the time,
no, that is that. But it was just things. I like some things that people used to do just as tradition.
Yeah.
And everybody's different, but there's some people that still do something like that. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty special, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
But I tell you, what is next for you? Because since you sold the modified.
Mm-hmm. I did.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and you're going to potentially run super stock some next year and stock. Continue on this year, but what's your plans for future?
So finish out this year. We're with Doug doing the showdown cars, running one of his super stockers, whichever flavor he puts me in is okay with me. They're all beautiful and they're all fast. So
right.
And then we'll be up at Bowling Green with the rescheduled Sports Nationals and Division race,
mm-hmm.
and then straight to Indy by way of Evansville because we got to go by and pick up the showdown car, and then we'll be at St. Louis. They run Michigan with the showdowns, but no other sportsmen except top sportsmen. And then we'll go down to St. Louis, and then down to Dallas for the finale. And I got lucky; I won the JEGS All Stars by 1 point over my buddy Jeff Atkinson. And
really?
I get to run the All Stars for the first time in a lot of years, and so we'll give it a shot down there this year.
Oh wow! I didn't realize you beat Jeff by a point because
1 point.
Jeff just won Numidia in stock. You know what I mean? So I had stock on the brain. I didn't think about the super stock. But
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, well, you're going to see Robert at Bowling Green,
Okay.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
then you'll see this ugly mug at
Indy.
All right. Great. Well, make sure you
Let's
come
split
by
it up a little.
Doug Duell's pit area compound.
Yeah, I saw it at Indy, and yeah, he had 2 cars lined up. It was absolutely beautiful, and I love the Stalker, the Cuda. I can't remember the 60. I think it's a 68 or 69, the one with ATI on it.
It's 69. Yeah.
Okay, I cannot remember where that. I don't think he built that car. He bought that from somebody originally, I believe.
Yeah. I don't remember.
I don't remember. It was something because his. I've noticed in each one of his cars have a history, a really good history.
Yeah.
But his wagon is the one I'd really like to see in person.
Oh, that thing's fun. We went and tested the Showdown car and the new Challenger that Casey's driving for Doug, and then we took the Dragon wagon because they had done some carburetor stuff. So anyway, we were testing it at Bowling Green. Man, that thing looks like a lot of fun.
It does. It does. I mean, I absolutely just every time I see videos of it, I was like, man, that thing just it's just cool. And I mean, how can you not? And Doug, I see down there where you built the 69. Well, my compliments, my friend. That car is absolutely beautiful, like all your cars. Because when I was at Indy, I was walking around just looking in the pits and stuff like that, and it was just beautiful. Took pictures of miscellaneous things and miscellaneous cars, but I always thought it was another one, but it doesn't matter. It's,
Well, I tell you, you
car.
can take all those cars straight from the drag strip to a car show, and they're going to win hands down compared to the other cars there. I mean, they're just super beautiful. I mean, the paint on them, the interior. I mean, it's just they look immaculate. You would never believe that they go out on the drag strip and run what they do.
Yeah.
Now, how in the world did you meet Doug? Was it through racing?
Well, we've been friends a long time, but we go fishing quite often down here by Bradenton. So me and him and Jim Bailey, we go down there, and that's kind of how this deal all started. Doug wanted to get into the Showdown thing, and we got actually a pretty good deal, and we bought all of Josh Hart's stuff, who I was crew chief for last year.
Right.
And it went across Meekum over here in Kissimmee down by Orlando, and I don't think anybody even bid on it. So we got with Josh, and Doug bought basically everything he owned. So from the Showdown car, and we've been working on it ever since, and it's finally coming around pretty good.
Yeah, we know Josh, and quality car. It just didn't have a lot of laps on it at the time.
I mean, it was a virgin like 3 weeks before the Gator Nationals last year when Josh finally decided to come on board. So we put Dave Davies spare parts, engine, trans, and rear gear and stuff,
right,
in a virgin car, and that doesn't work out great all the time.
Yeah, that's a challenge in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, and then we've just been a little bit here and there, and we finally had some time. We took it up to Mike Roth up at MR2,
right,
and he did some of the what we call low hanging fruit with stuff that needed updated and to make it work better and whatnot. So he did a great job as usual, and he's actually building a brand new car for Doug that we're hoping to be done in the next week or two. So
a shootout?
That's for shootout, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a good deal.
You know, you look at those cars. It's not always about the drivetrain, the engine and transmission. It's about the suspension. The suspension is a major role in that class.
That's correct.
And no 2 cars, doesn't matter if they're Ford, Chevy, or Chrysler shootout cars, will look the same when they leave.
That's right, yeah. We had 3 at the time with Schumacher over there, and none of them had the identical tune-up in them.
Right.
Because they all have their own personality.
Exactly. We know the crew at KSR, the team and stuff like that, so we talked to them and hung out and been talking back and forth, and just like you said, they can have all 4 of their cars there, all 4 different drivers, and they all physically look different when they leave.
Yeah.
And I got talking to Kim and Kimmy, their tuners, and he just kind of smiled. He goes, "Yeah, everyone's a different animal," You know, everyone's this, everyone's that, and just like you said, and so yeah, everyone's got their own inherited thing you got to put to it and do to it to make it work.
Yeah,
for sure. Now, the sport or the, let's say, and let's go wide envelope here, stock, super stock, and shootout cars. Okay, of those subjects. How is the state of it currently, and what would you make suggestions in Kevin's world to make improvements in all three of them? What would you do? And it don't have to be local. It could be broad. It could be narrow.
well, I'm like you. I would like to see something brought up to where to put the performance back in stock and super stock. Be it qualifying points, monetarily. They're doing that a little bit at the division races, where number one qualifier gets a couple $100 or something, and that's wonderful.
Right.
And I think that would be good.
I agree.
Let's get people setting records out there again.
Agreed. Agreed. Because I think that's a very, right now it's not really as popular, meaning put out there in print like it once was. But it's a very
you're
hard,
taking away
very hard thing to
innovation.
do.
You're taking away innovation when you don't allow them to do that.
That's right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even be against, if you've got an R on the window, to turn off the horsepower factor. In other words, you don't 120 under, you get popped like I did with the purple car this year.
Right.
And had to tear down and everything this year. But yeah, there's got to be some incentive to go fast. And then, if you don't care about that, then the other cool thing is we got shoe polish in our hand, and you can just go basically bracket racing.
Right. Now, I agree with you, what you just said. Okay, if you put an R on the window and go for the record, set the record, and go, but it has to be tore down.
Yep.
Okay, it has to be.
Okay. And you have to set the record.
Yes, you have to set the record.
If you go bomb your combination, but you don't set the record,
you get what you deserve. Yeah.
You get hit.
Yeah, you get what you deserve on that one. You didn't read the fine print. You know what I mean? But no, I agree with you. If you go and set the record, and even if you bomb it, okay, but you have to tear it down. And if you refuse to tear it down, then you get the factor.
Right.
So like you said, it has to be incentive to do that. So I completely agree, and I don't know who to send my email to or whatever to try to do things
check
like that.
division at NHRA.
Yeah, okay. Now, Bobby Fazio came up with a really good idea, and we encourage everybody to look at his interviews and videos, driver's interview with Bobby Fazio.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, as he came up and had a suggestion like a set number on Carfield, let's just say 64, I'm using that as a number.
Right.
They allow 80 cars in through entry, 64 qualified.
Yeah.
Okay, and actually have a qualified field, so that kind of does bring back the performance in a way. I'm not totally against that. I do like that, especially when you go to some places like out west where there's only like 40 entries,
right,
and stuff like that. Give an incentive. So I kind of like that too. So you give it a lot of food for thought. You really do, Kevin. So what about shootout cars? What would you change, if anything, on shootout cars? Besides make Dodges 500 pounds lighter.
Well, I was going to say we need to put some pulleys on the Chevys and the Fords.
Good. I'm glad you at least said it. Most people kind of dance around it,
Tell Kimmy I said so.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I'll call Kimmy out. Kimmy, guess what Kevin said? Yeah. But
he'll probably watch this later.
Oh yeah. Now, and actually, I mean, the Fords have, they have definitely dominated this year. But everybody is really fairly close.
Right.
So.
That's actually what Mitchell and I were talking about earlier this week. Is like, even though Ford seems to have won more races, okay, but you look at the qualifying and through eliminations, and it's very close. It's very tight.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't really disagree with that.
I mean, it's getting the class actually where you can win it off of a great light.
Sure. Yeah. Look at Dick Vieri. He's really a superstock guy just playing because he likes Showdown. He made it to the semifinals at the first two races.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, going 8.0s or 18s out there. So
Hey, he's just getting it down the track and doing his
Yep.
job at the start. So
exactly.
okay.
Yeah, we've had Raymond Nash on,
Yep.
and they seem to got their car working pretty well.
They're doing great. Yep.
Oh, they're chomping at the bits when they win one, and they will win one. When they win one, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
it's gonna be over. Yeah, it's gonna be over the moon, man. The whole
Oh.
pit is gonna be going crazy.
And he's
but-
got his son running stock eliminator right now.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
he's
other car?
running factory stock D right now. Yep.
Yep, and he's
So-
actually doing good and qualifying really well.
He's doing good. Yep.
So he's going to be a step up real soon. Now, tell us, Kevin, how? Well, actually, before we get to that, tell us real quick. Last year, you were driving. Was that Lynn Ingalls' Corvette?
Yeah,
Is that-
yeah. Well, it was so Lynn passed away,
Okay.
and
Yeah, that's right.
Greg and Chase Williams bought the car, and they I don't guess they had enough grade points to get into Indy, so Jimmy Hidalgo Sr., Country Dog, called me up and said, "Would you be interested in driving their A6 car at Indy?" I'm like, "Heck yeah!" So
Twist your arm.
yeah, twist my arm, right? And that thing is beautiful.
Oh.
It was really nice, and we had a great time. Between Chase and me and Greg, making changes, and we were just out there kind of testing and tuning. And I wound up getting beat to Fletcher and I had a perfect light. So
Yeah, I saw you went rounds, but I think you were running nines. If I remember
Yeah.
right, you were running 990s, I believe.
yeah, and qualified in the 80s,
Okay.
and then got killed in class by one of them McFarland LS stick cars.
Yeah, I think he went a 70 something, and I think he went like an 89 or a 90, I believe he did something like that.
Yeah.
It was something.
And then if you watch the video, he's wrapping the throttle all the way down the track against me.
Oh, really? No, I didn't catch that.
That's just like rubbing salt in a wound.
That's just wrong.
He didn't need to show me that.
But I got pictures of that car. I'm going to post here real soon of the Corvette. That is, because that's an absolutely beautiful car.
That
Now-
was a nice car.
Oh, and now it's back in Division 4, but it's got an automatic in it, I think. Correct?
Oh, does. Well, I haven't talked to Greg in a while, but I seen he had it for sale.
Yep, and I think I saw it in D4, but I want to say it had an automatic, but I can't remember honestly. But still, beautiful car for sure. Now, how can everybody follow you as we go through your racing this year?
Just mainly through Class Racer, Drag Race Central. I don't really do too much social media. I'm on Facebook, but I don't post too much on there, so it's kind of old school,
Well, that's good.
So
And-
khelms428@yahoo.com is my email. If you want to throw me something.
I like how you throw that
Hey, I do have
428 out
something
there.
to throw you away.
What's
I
that?
want to get rid of my IRS and my Charger and put a straight axle in there,
Yeah, it can be done.
so I can change gears
Yeah,
instead of changing the whole chunk.
absolutely. That's what all the drag packs and even the cars that run the production motors, they legalized leaving the 9-inch Ford in there, so you could do that.
Yeah, I talked to I don't know if you know him, Kevin Smith, KSR down here in Florida. They worked on Cletus's cars, a bunch of others, and so I stopped by to fill up a nitrous bottle before going testing, and I said, "Hey, Kevin," I said, "Do you think you can change out this IRS to a straight axle?" He says, "I don't know where to start on that." I said, "Well, I know where to look if I don't get my tail tore up." I said, "I could probably look under one of those factory stock showdown vehicles."
Exactly. Yeah, pretty
Get
good
an idea
blueprint.
of what we have to do. I
Yeah,
said, if they don't kick my butt for looking up underneath their car.
Well, we can help you out.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You can guide them in the right direction.
Yeah.
But I tell you, Kevin, I look forward to meeting you face to face in Bowling Green. Jim, is Jim racing still?
Jim Bailey?
Yeah.
No, he sold all his stuff.
Oh man. Okay.
He's been working. He's a tech guy for NHRA and IHRA at this point.
I got
and-
you.
He said
Fishing
he wants to go fishing.
Let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah, we've been hearing that a lot. As far as people going fishing and things like that. Jim, I got to compliment you. The black, was it a 65 or a 64? Kevin, that Jim had, that black one you said came from Southland.
I think it was a 65.
Okay, the black 65 that you had, Jim, just unbelievable.
Stunning.
Beautiful. Yeah. Oh, just stunning. And then Mitchell, he had a 383 car, and then he had a Hemi car. And they were both black, and they were just both just, I mean, wipe the drool. Just they were just absolutely immaculate and fast. And so, Jim, my compliments to you. I mean, and Kevin, you too. Everybody you've been rattling off is just an amazing history. And people that you know, friends of yours, mentors. You got a good firm foundation from your career all the way clear up to now.
Before we let you go, I know I showed this picture a while ago, and you said there's a little story, and if it's not too long, could you tell us about it?
Which one?
Which one? Oh, well, that's the Lynn Ingalls or Greg Williams car that ran at Indy last year, and ran a stick with it. The funny story is, so we were gonna kind of work through it at Bowling Green. Well, the first pass, it wound up, it didn't have fourth gear. And of course, they just bought the car. They didn't have a spare trans. They didn't have spare parts or anything. And so we were talking about withdrawing out of Indy. Well, they finally found somebody with some parts, and they got it put together. So we ran Indy and did pretty good with it, and just kept tweaking the clutch, and it got running really good.
Now, was that a tri-power setup?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so that's like a 430 horse, 427, that kind of thing?
Yeah. What would
Something
that be?
like that.
400 horse, I think they call it. The oval port deal.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm assuming it had a Jericho in it.
It actually had a G-force in it.
Really?
They make a really nice transmission.
Yeah, that's something I'm going to look into later. My dad's got a Jericho. We're going to look into something else a little later. But if you had a Jericho, I'd say you probably get a hold of Jim, and Jim probably had Jericho parts coming off the shelf somewhere.
Oh, yeah, and me too. I've been Jericho my whole career, and since Jerry passed away, I'm not sure if you can get parts or whatever anymore. So,
well, they sold the company to another company there in Mooresville that is into dirt cars. Yeah. And so they sold everything here recently. So the word is that they're keeping it dirt car and possibly expanding out the parts to the DR4s and other stuff like that. Right. So I got fingers crossed, because there's a ton of those transmissions out there, and they just need some spares to keep them going.
Right on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, Kevin, from Mitchell and I and everybody, want to tell you thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule and come talk to us.
Oh, I really enjoyed it.
It's greatly appreciated. So this marks, I don't know, this is the 4th or 5th world champion we've had on. But it's greatly appreciated, sir.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Good talking to you guys.
I'll definitely reach out to you in a couple of weeks about how to put a straight axle up underneath that thing.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you something. I was looking at changing the chunk, and of course you could buy a 373 gears or whatever. Yeah. And I looked at the price. I'm like, my gosh, you can pretty much just rip everything out and put a different rear end in it for $5,000.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that part later, Mitchell.
I'll get Robert to give me the money.
Nope. Yeah. I'm married, so not happening. Well, anyway, Kevin, from Mitchell and I and everybody here at On the Spot Motorsports Media, we want to wish you nothing but the best this year. And stay safe, my friend, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Looking forward to seeing you guys in a couple of weeks.
Will do, my friend. Thank you very much, Kevin. You have a good night.
You're welcome. Talk soon.
Take care.
I'll tell you what a great show. Just watching Kevin over his career, and it's true, one of the most winningest sportsman racers out there, and being inducted into the top 50. Of course, you got in 2013, I think it was, Hall of Fame there in Michigan. Just an excellent career, 3 Indy wins, and hey, never know, might be a 4th one this year up in up in Indy at the U.S. Nationals.
I mean, absolutely. And for anybody out there to think top 50 sportsman racers, you know what I mean? It is a very prestigious list, but just listen to some of these names, both past and present, as far as driving career. Sal Biondo, Dave Borman, Luke Bogacki, Bo Butner, Jed Coughlin Jr., Mark Fowle, Dan Fletcher, Mike Furter, Peter Biondo, Anthony Bertozzi, John Lingenfelter, Jeff Lane, Jeff Heffler, like his nemesis during the time, Jim Hughes, his mentor, Jimmy Hidalgo, Justin Lamb, Jeff Strickland, Gary Sinet, Scotty Richardson, Edmund Richardson, and the list goes on for a full 50. So that is a very amazing list to be included on, and rightfully so. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, to win a national event, period, in anything is extremely difficult. Much less to do it with a manual shift car. Much less to do it with a stock eliminator manual shift car that has a 9-inch tire requirement.
Right.
Okay. During an era when tracks and all that stuff and clutches were not as good as they are now. Okay. You still had the same challenge, but and then to win 3 world championships in a row.
Yes.
Think about it. You do not take that number 1 off your window. Okay, for 3 years in a row. That is just mind blowing. And then to win Indy twice in a row, and like I said, there's a whole lot to his career that he didn't even mention. Winning IHRA national events, finished second in the world in IHRA, and other events that he's won all over, both national and divisional level.
Yeah, and his fourth one came in 2015.
Correct, driving for the Teutons.
Yeah.
So well versed, running whether a stock eliminator or a super stock, much quicker car running 8s, and winning quite often. So it was really good to have him on, because I don't know of a lot of people that's actually had interviews with him in this manner. A lot of people have him in print, but very humble man, very skilled racer. So I was glad to have the opportunity for us to talk to him.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we want to thank everyone who joined us tonight and who's going to watch this afterwards. Please don't forget to follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, also Spotify, Instagram.
Absolutely. This interview.
Follow us everywhere that you possibly can. We're in the works of trying to get some shirts made, some T-shirts that we can actually start selling. And then, of course, nothing would be possible without our marketing partners like Redline Synthetic Oils. Great product. Not just saying it because they're a marketing partner of ours, but we use their products, and there's nothing else I would use in my car but Redline. And give you an example, Robert, I hit 247,000 miles on my Charger, race it on the weekends. Hey, it takes a beating, keeps on going, and that's because of products like Redline Synthetic Oil.
You might have the miles, but I got over 1,100 runs on my engine right now. Okay, and I don't know how many thousands of street miles, but I got 1,100 runs on this particular engine, and with Redline in it. So I agree. And also for Scorpion Racing Products, it's American made right here in Ocala, Florida. They're racers for racers. They have all your rocker arm needs. Doesn't matter, small block, big block, Chevy, Ford, late model Hemis. Even something special. If you have a need, give them a call. They first class quality, like I said, American made. They also work with racers, and they support Gainesville Raceway and South Georgia Motorsports Park bracket program.
And also don't forget about Big Stuff, Total Power Management. I tell you what, they have some great products. We talk about their dash all the time, where you can actually now put a weather station somewhere on your car. You can be sitting in the lanes. You can pull up all the data, look at the weather, make your final decision on what you're going to, dial in on your bracket car. But it goes more more deeper than that. They just got a lot of great parts and pieces for you. And not to mention, they also work with another company that will actually give you real timing results of cylinder head pressure. So
DC Inc. That is DC Inc.
Inc.
That they work with directly. Like Mitchell said, they can do real-time cylinder pressure data.
Yeah, which is really popular, especially for the Pro Mod class.
Oh, absolutely. And then also for GRE signs, Goolsby Racing Enterprises here in Central Florida, they handle all your graphics needs. They handle our T-shirts. They handle our business cards. They handle the graphics needs for Gainesville Raceway, I believe now South Georgia, and others. Businesses, racers, once again, racers, for racers, by racers.
And of course, last but not least, something everyone needs. If you're going to the racetrack, you're racing your car, you want to have your stuff covered in case of an accident. And 90% of the accidents that happen away from the track, not at the track. We see that people's trailers and haulers catch on fire and they lose all their contents, including their race car. Make sure you got coverage so you can replace that stuff, and it's very expensive. And I tell you, what's so good about Larice Motorsports Insurance? They usually have an agent at all these races that you can walk up to, ask them that you're interested in getting a quote. They can get you set up right then, right there. And I tell you what, they're racers themselves. So they know how important it is to cover your stuff and make sure that you're not holding an empty bag when tragedy strikes.
Absolutely. And like Mitchell said, we want to thank everybody out there that follows On the Spot Motorsports Media on our Facebook page, YouTube page, Instagram, and Spotify. But if you're not currently following or subscribing to us, we ask you that you do and share it with others. We're trying to grow the pages. Mitchell's putting out articles all the time, a lot of good information. And we're putting together other interviews. We're working behind the scenes with other people, and also potential other events we want to go to and other articles we're working on.
Right.
And go ahead, Mitchell.
Yeah, and give you an example, we got Brenda Grubbs joining us on the 11th. And then on the, I think it's the 20th, we got Mark Beatty, which was with Redline Synthetic Oils. Now he's taking a position with PDRA. So we get a chance to really dive into PDRA and what's going on behind the scenes. And hopefully that'll lead us to be able to get some racers to be able to come on that races in PDRA. Great organization. And I just love how they got their setup, especially when it comes to top sportsman and top dragster. That, if you don't qualify for the elite, you can still run in the other top sportsman, top dragster class. So you're just not totally out if you don't get in. I think that's a really great thing for them. And of course, the two Pro Mod classes. You got Nitrous, and then you have
Pro Boost.
I think. So yeah, it's Pro Boost. So really great. And I'll tell you what, we're going to have a lot of fun with Mark, and we're glad that he's doing well and still serving the racers out there.
Absolutely. We look forward to these upcoming interviews. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody out there has anybody in mind that they would like us to reach out to and talk to, possibly interview, please just let us know. And if anybody wants to get involved with marketing with us on the Spot Motorsports Media, reach out to Mitchell or myself, and we'll talk to you and see if we can't work something out together. But
yeah. I hope we see all of y'all on the 11th. Till then, stay safe and take care.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night.